What's good, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to the very first episode of the Silence Voices podcast. This podcast is brought to you by a bunch of struggling students from the east side of London. Joke, by the way. I am your host, Lyndon. However, you can just call me Lynn. Without further ado, let's get started. Start off! Right, so I'm here. Hey. Cool. Silence. Right, so I'm here with three of my good friends from secondary. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Stacey.
My name's Angelo.
My name's Liam.
This is so bad. Right, guys, so how do you feel about the coronavirus?
So I think the coronavirus has actually really screwed up some people, especially adults because their jobs, of course, and then some people revolved around going to gaming.
Yeah, I agree. People have to lose their jobs because companies are forced to shut down.
Yeah.
24% of the UK workforce is are struggling to get jobs or losing their jobs. That's 7.2 million people. That's pretty sad that they can't afford to keep their job or their businesses.
I second that because it's also very hard for people who are actually looking for a job because the unemployment rates have drastically increased.
Yeah, I could speak on that behalf as well because I know some people who lost their jobs. Unlike me, I was put on furlough.
Now, both of us made redundant.
Since September. Yeah, some people made redundant, but I was one of the fortunate ones who actually managed to keep my job and stay on furlough.
Actually, next year, what I'm gonna try to do is actually find work experience, build up my CV and everything, just so that if coronavirus still happens next year, then boom, man settled.
Not even that, mate. You don't even have to wait till the end of next year. You could just hopefully try secure a job during the summer, because as the government states, everything should be all right by June 21st.
Yeah.
Hopefully, man. I just want everything to go back to normal. Does anyone here know what you were doing during December, before December, January? This was early 2020, late 2019, before the first lockdown.
Okay. Well, personally, I was just going about my normal day. COVID hadn't really hit us straight away, so it didn't really impact me until we actually went into quarantine that March in 2020.
Ironically enough, I was in the airport, even though Corona started to spread. I was actually in the airport because I had to collect my dad. He just returned home from visiting the Philippines and my grandparents, and I actually saw a poster after waiting for 2 hours. I actually saw a poster about coronavirus and there's a new virus, this and that. That was my first encounter, I would say, for this pandemic. And then later on, 2 months later, it just went downhill.
To top that, I actually do remember now that when I first encountered it, because my mom's a nurse, right? So she got hit by it basically straight away. Obviously, but being part of the NHS, she had to be a key worker. Yeah.
It was scary back then as well because unlike now, everyone's getting tested and tests are more common. But it was bare
I even remember that when my mom first started going to work, when COVID first came around, she was really scared to go to work, especially because of our well-being and herself as well, and our grandparents because they're old, so they're likely to catch it, but hopefully, gladly they didn't.
What about you, Liam? Were you still in St. Bonds or just studying from home?
No, I was literally when I was in year 9 when I was here with the first lockdown. I didn't do any work. All I was doing was playing video games non-stop. And at that time, we had house renovations as well, so it was really hard to like stay and like get stuff from my old house. So whenever I needed something, I'll just go back, and then that impacted because I had to like wear a mask to get there.
Do you remember
like
when it was like early March or February? Everyone was terrified of this virus, and then what's it called?
Yeah.
I think because I used to, back when I was still going to CWC, I'll take the Jubilee line every single day, and that was just scary. That's so like terrified. And I remember seeing on the news that, I remember seeing an article that coronavirus, there was a COVID case like in February or March or January. It was in not Canning Town, but what was that station after Canning Town?
What, Prince Regent?
No. On the Jubilee line, I forgot.
Or Jubilee Line?
After or before?
No. Like, you see, after you go out and there's big buildings. Oh yeah,
Okay,
Canary
I
Wharf.
don't know anything.
It was in Canary Wharf.
Yeah. And I shut down the whole Canary Wharf. I remember walking past. Like, there was no business people there. All the shops are closed. And the car parks were empty. It was actually mad.
Traveling during a pandemic is also terrifying because this was back when we started getting news from scientists and the World Health Organization that, because the coronavirus is airborne, like, do you remember seeing it would stay on surface for like 24 or certain amount of hours? That's why people are saying like, we should wash our hands, don't touch our nose and whatever. And now here we are, wearing masks. It's tough.
What country do you think impacted the most from coronavirus?
Definitely the UK. Definitely.
The UK is one of them. America.
Yeah, because we have the highest like death rate now, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially
Even got new strain.
especially since there's someone say going strong. Especially since it's already been 2 years, the death rates are off the roof.
Yeah, fam. Compared to like Italy, even though like we thought they had it bad, but no, we have it bad.
Yeah, we caught up massively.
We are at a heavy disadvantage right now because what's his name? Boris.
Boris Johnson.
Bojo, man. I
Can't
don't
do his
know.
job.
I don't know what this guy is doing. He
But,
has
like,
he
can't
has
really
left us
You can't really
disappointed.
complain because he doesn't always. It's not him who has to make all the decisions. Like, there's obviously people who
True,
have
true,
influence on
I
him,
hear
etc. Blah blah blah.
Like
But,
the
our government in general, I don't trust the government in general.
Lads, I
It's
think
like, if you,
I think Bojo is just a puppet, honestly, because there's also, I think he's just
there's always
people are
gonna
using
be
him.
someone telling him what
he's
to do.
just listening to people, like what the people want.
Yeah,
Like
what the members of
not necessarily
parliament
people
want.
always do. Yeah. Like I don't know his name, the mayor.
Matt Hancock, that's his name, bro.
Sadiq Khan. Was it
No,
is it not Sadiq Khan?
Sadiq Khan. Yeah, he's doing awful right now. Like he promised so many things, and like now the other people, like I don't know if you heard, but I've showed Angelo.
I don't think he gets a say in that though. I think it's do you remember Matt Hancock, that guy who's like, he's the one who reinforced the idea that our students should go back to school, whatever.
Oh, the guy in charge of schools and education.
Yeah, people are saying like, he should
ruined some people.
get sacked and lose his job, whatever.
I think
But
he
personally,
influenced
yeah,
the
I
whole
think
thing.
like we should have just done what like New Zealand did, which was like close everything down, and everything was closed for so long. That's what we should have done, rather than everything being closed for a few months and then reopening for summer in 2020. Because then after everything went straight back up, made everything worse, and then now we're back in another lockdown.
I actually remember because China, they did this first.
Bro, China did it differently.
Yeah, China did it differently because when they had the coronavirus, the whole country like went on lockdown.
Like,
No
you could
cars on the
see,
road.
Like, there were pictures, like people literally locked themselves with wooden planks on their doors.
Yeah, that was the same for America as well. But China, they literally eradicated the virus in like 1 month.
Yeah, even in the country, they went around the streets, their government did. I don't know if it was for sure, but they went around the streets, like spraying everything, like with whatever, like to make it clean.
I think the UK is just like where we are right now is because this country is run by men. That's literally like what it is. Because if you notice, all the countries that eradicated coronavirus and who have had to live a normal life like 1 year ago, those countries were run by women.
New Zealand, for example, there you go.
Yeah,
Prime
yeah.
example.
Our country should be led by Miss, a local feminist.
Oh my days.
All right, you gotta cut that out. You gotta cut that out.
Oh my days, can you shush, man?
The whole English department.
Because the coronavirus had originated in China, Wuhan, it has brought a lot of speculation and racism amongst Asian people.
Yeah, especially in America as well. You watch the news, or like just read it. There are some elderly women, Asian women, like Chinese women, that get like beaten up on the streets.
I honestly don't know why these delinquents, they target the elderly, and they don't target the young people because they know that they will get beaten up. But then again, cowards don't fight fair. That's a comment I saw on TikTok yesterday. It was very true.
Also, I feel that some people, like many people, are not like educated. They're not educated well enough.
Well, at the end of the day, racism is taught. So there was also that one case. Have you man heard of that white terrorist? What's his name? We're gonna call him a terrorist because what he did was an act of terror. He went around like different states of the US and like killed, let's say, 5 people from a nail shop.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, it was tough. And then the police would say like, oh, he's just having a bad day, this, that.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's America, so can't really complain.
Like, deep it. Man was having a bad day. You know how mad that is?
Person
Because
dead.
Exactly.
yeah, if
Any other culture?
any other culture, for example, if he was brown or black, people would instantly call them a terrorist.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. But as soon as it's
When a white person
it's a white person that does it, oh, he's just having a bad day.
Yeah.
The mental issue. It's not their fault. What was that excuse?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially cops too, if you're in terms of America, like, white cops, the cops in general just need better training, education. Especially during COVID, since the topic of this, COVID, during the first lockdown, everyone knows about George Floyd, at Casmel. That was a really big movement.
I feel so
Even
sorry
in
for
the
George
UK,
Floyd, man.
Yeah.
That man,
But in the UK even,
that police
it was a big
officer
movement.
literally started a
Everyone
war.
went out on the streets. It was good to see people unite,
Yeah, I saw this picture of gang members like Bloods and Crips. Like they started to
That
unite.
was cool.
I saw an article yesterday about Derek Chauvin, the police officer that killed George Floyd. He is now on trial he is on trial right now to see whether he's guilty of murdering George Floyd.
I mean, like, didn't they just capture it on camera? Like,
Yeah, he was caught in 4K.
so,
Okay.
He literally anyways, I hope this guy gets life in prison, honestly.
that's life in prison.
Stacey, being of many minorities, such as Jamaican,
Fantastic.
Jamaican and the whole lot, how do you feel about racism and the Black Lives Matter movement?
BLM is obviously great. It's doing many good things for the community, many communities, open people's eyes. But people just need to grow up and accept their race and accept you're not the only person in this world. It's like schools and governments need to educate people.
True, because
People are different colour.
Yeah, instead of the French for
like-
GCSE.
BLM, that whole
That's-
movement made it everywhere. It made it everywhere. To the point where it's being shared across games and everything. But
And even Apex Legends as well.
big up Apex Legends.
Game alive. Yeah.
It's consequence, please.
Do you man know that, what's it called? A lot of people from the BLM community are like complaining because Asian people are not getting the same treatment. Because there are still, even if there is a Black Lives Matter movement, I feel like there are still some racist black people.
Mm. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're black or white, you can still be racist.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Like calling a black person calling someone a cracker, that's still racist or being offensive to the colour. Same
At
thing
first-
for like brown people being called.
I'm not gonna lie. At first, yeah, I didn't really see. I thought a lot of Asian people were making a big deal of the Asian hate crimes and like racism against Asians. Even though being an Asian myself, I still thought it was a big deal before it actually became a big deal. Because some Asians, like, actually a lot of Asian people on social media like to embrace the word chinky or ling ling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's being so
TikTok.
normalized in today's society.
Unfortunately, that will be the end of episode 1. So thank you guys for listening and make sure to tune in to the next episode. I have been your host. See you in episode 2.